Welcome to Five or Flop, a podcast for the best and worst historical fiction has to offer. I'm your host, Grace.
And I'm Erin, and since we're in between seasons, welcome to our first bonus episode.
Woohoo!
What are we talking about today?
We are going a little bit off topic for the season, of course, still on topic for the pod somewhat. And we were talking about Wuthering Heights today.
Both the movie and partially the book. I think it's important to add the context of when we saw the movie, which was a pregame to the Heated Rivalry rave.
Yes, Wuthering Heights plus Heated Rival Rave is a great night that I would recommend to many. I think your window of opportunity to do that is rapidly closing. It may be closed already. There was a Heated Rival Rave, like a separate one in DC this past week.
Yeah, the Anthem, and there was one in Richmond because Rose's friends were talking about it when I went to visit her in Richmond.
Well, at the very least, the one that we went to and then the one they had at the Anthem, it was the same show because I saw it on people's Instagram stories. It's that same DJ who has made this program, and I think she's just traveling around making bank, like doing the same show.
And
so
you know
good
what?
for her.
Good for her. But so we saw it a couple weeks ago at this point, and I think it's fun to start out by saying like our relationship with Wuthering Heights.
Yes. My relationship with Wuthering Heights is that I have none. I have not read the book, and I barely even knew really what it was about. I knew it kind of as this like tortured romance. I knew I Am Heathcliff. I know the song, the Kate Bush song. I think that's kind of it, really. This was not one of the classics that I had to read, and it also wasn't one of the ones that I just glommed onto. I feel like if you're a classics girl and you read like an 1800s English classic, you have the choice between Wuthering Heights, Pride and Prejudice, or Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
And I was Jane Eyre.
Okay, and did you read Jane Eyre in school?
I did, and I had to, but I liked it.
Okay. I didn't read Jane Eyre. I read Pride and Prejudice separately, and I liked it. It made me feel very pretentious and better than everyone that I was reading it.
Exactly.
But Wuthering Heights, I had read in high school, AP Lit senior year, and I remember really liking it. I've read many books since then, so I can't say I really remembered it, which is why I recently reread the book just before the movie.
So that you could be informed going in.
Exactly. And as I said, an informed hater.
Yes.
And I think before we get in the discussion, I think we might just want to start with my Letterboxd review for this one.
Please treat us.
So 1 star. So glad I reread the book so I could be an informed hater. Tasteless and tame compared to the source material. And look at how they butchered my girls, Nellie and Isabella. However, I did laugh, so 1 star.
Would you like to shout out your Letterboxd handle so that our listeners can follow you?
Oh my god, great idea. It's probably the same as my story graph. It is Erin Murray Harvey, and I encourage you all to follow me. I post some hits, some bangers, and I watch a lot of movies. I think I probably watch more movies than I read books.
And you also are one of the top movie watchers that I know, in terms sheerly of volume.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean I pay attention to all of them, but in terms of volume, you're correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think that sums up my review very nicely. Where do we want to start with this one?
Let's start with you. You can tell the audience and me, even though obviously you've already told me, what are the biggest standout differences from the book?
The first one I'm going to talk about, from my understanding, this is the only Wuthering Heights adaptation I've seen. From my understanding, though, across all adaptations, it is common for the second half of the book not to be adapted.
Yes, because you said it's like the second generation.
Yeah, it's about like their kids. They all have the same name. I mean, their names are like Catherine and Linton, which is the last name of Catherine Linton. It's very complicated because of that, and also it's very tonally different. Like it kind of takes it in a different direction. So that is not an issue that I have with this adaptation.
Yeah, if there's a natural stopping place to end an adaptation, then it makes sense to do so.
And that also leads into one of the major changes at the end of the movie. So at the end of this movie, Kathy loses her baby. She has a miscarriage and dies of sepsis. Whereas in the book, the baby lives.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that change is related. That, again, fine with me. As I said in my review, they butchered Nellie and Isabella. Isabella was Heathcliff's wife. He was incredibly abusive towards her, and she ran away and then found out she was pregnant and had his child. But so she escaped. So how they made her in the book, how they made her in the movie, like a willing participant in his weird
dog BDSM king.
Exactly. I really hated it. I think that took away just so much of her agency. They also, I feel like, really, I mean, she was kind of dumb in the book, like in the lead up to it. So I wanted to say they kind of dumbed her down, but I think that might just be a difference of like showing it on screen.
Yeah.
They seem to try and paint Nellie as the villain, which Nellie is actually like the narrator in the book.
Oh.
She is telling the story to like a new tenant in one of the homes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Basically, he's a new tenant in Thrushcross Grange. I struggle with these names so much. In the house that the Lintons live in. He's the new tenant there.
Got it.
And he has to go over, because Heathcliff is his landlord, he has to go over for something. And he comes back, and Nellie is still a servant there. And she's like, hey, why are all these people so fucking weird? Like, what is this about?
Imagine Heathcliff being your landlord.
Isn't that insane?
Do you think Heathcliff would have taken more or less time than your landlord to replace your washing machine?
You know, if washing machines were invented, I think he would have been on it fast, because I think he wouldn't want to have to hear about it. We were texting our landlord multiple times a week about it.
Well, to be fair, it was out of commission for 3 months.
That was a long time. But I think Heathcliff would have been on it.
Probably.
And this was, let's just add again, this was the second time it was out of commission for 3 months.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think Heathcliff would have been on. So they tried to make Nellie the villain, and that goes hand in hand with them painting Kathy and Heathcliff as like an actual romantic relationship, instead of just both two horrible people. And Heathcliff is like very much abusive to everyone. They also cut out Kathy having a brother in it, which is a huge part of the plot, and how abusive Heathcliff is to the brother's son. They really watered down his character from like how evil he is. Like when Isabella gets married and she goes to live with him, he immediately like hangs her puppy.
Oh.
So they really toned down a lot of, and that's what I meant by it felt tame compared to the source material. If Emma Fennell really wanted to go crazy ham on it and make it dark and twisted, she really could have.
Yeah. But Emerald Fennell seemingly just has not grown out of the place you are when you're 14 and you think that the most edgy thing in the world is just people having kind of regular sex.
Yeah. Just a lot of regular sex in the movie. Weirdly, Heathcliff fingering eggs in the movie.
I did not like all the egg imagery.
I really hated that. I hated that so much.
And I will add, as a non-book reader, they did clearly attempt to make Nellie the villain, and it did not work on me, because I thought she was the only normal character, really. She was the best one. Like
she was great. That actress was very good.
Oh, she was fantastic. She only really did 2, like, quote-unquote villainous things. So in the beginning, when Kathy says, it would degrade me to marry Heathcliff, Nellie knows that Heathcliff hears this and then doesn't do anything about that. Which, like, okay, what is she supposed to do? Tell her, like, no.
Like, he's at the window. Did you not see him?
So great. Like, you should definitely marry him. Like, that. Don't be ridiculous.
No.
And then at the end, when Heathcliff is sending her letters, evil letters, mind you, she just, like, throws them in the fire.
Oh, well, and the other thing is, Kathy says, like, oh, the baby's died beside me. And Nellie goes, like, okay, like, are you bleeding? Are you in pain? And Kathy's like, no. And Nellie's like, you're fine.
Well, that's what I would say in that situation. I'm not a doctor.
And Kathy is, like, proven to be nuts. Like, I wouldn't believe her.
Yeah. I appreciated Nellie. I thought she was right at almost all times.
Yeah.
I also appreciated, during the part in the movie where Kathy tells Nellie, no one has ever loved you and no one ever will, the girl sitting behind us goes, she's so mean.
That was insane. That was so insane. And I love that girl. I wish she could be on the pod with us.
And it's true. Kathy is so mean.
Kathy was a lot nicer in the movie, I would say, even compared to the book, though. I will have to say, there are pieces of the movie that I did really like. I did have some good laughs, and not just at the expense of the movie being bad. Like, yes. I thought some of the dialogue was funny. I thought Margot Robbie, though far too old for the character, because this is supposed to be like a teenage girl, I thought she did a good job. I thought she was very mean. I think she's a talented actress.
Yeah,
so.
The first, 10 or 15 minutes of the movie, they've written the script based on the book, so obviously Kathy's behaviors are those of a teenage girl. Mm-hmm. So it's a little jarring in the beginning to see Margot Robbie, behaving this way, because she's 35 or whatever. But the further in, I really do think that she disappeared into the role. I came out of it being like, Margot Robbie did a great job.
Oh, yeah, I think she's very talented.
And I actually think I would perhaps not extend this grace to Jacob Elordi.
Because he can't ride a horse.
Well, he can't ride a horse. But I thought all of the other actors were really great, too. I thought especially Kathy's dad was really good.
Yeah.
It was so hard to watch him, but I like that's the point.
Mhm.
So, mission accomplished. Hong Chow was good as Nellie.
She was, I think, my favorite.
Yeah. I forget her name, but whoever played Isabella, she was also in Saltburn, so clearly she's just like an Emerald Fennel
Was
favorite.
she in Saltburn?
That's what I heard.
Okay. I believe it.
I don't know. I haven't seen Saltburn.
We watched it a couple years ago. Pre-Letterboxd, or else I pull up that review.
I think she was like a kind of goth girl or something. Like she just had a very different look.
I don't remember it.
I don't know. She did a good job. I thought Linton did a good job. They didn't let him
I thought he was great.
Didn't let him do much. And obviously I know his casting is also controversial because Jacob Elordi is white, Heathcliff's not. And so people were like, Emerald Fennel casted a non-white man to play Linton as here.
Yeah.
This is something. He did a good job.
Agreed. So the actors were good. I really liked the costuming. I wish it had been, and I know the joke is like it all looks like Shein dresses. I wish every costume had been insane.
Yeah.
I think that would have sold it even more. They only did it for the women, and not even all of them. Like Nellie and the other servants dressed normally. So I don't know what the casting department was really doing with Kathy and Isabella. I don't know. It didn't speak to me, but I enjoyed their costumes. I just wish all of it was elaborate like that.
Yeah. I liked it, but I'm not going to think about it that much.
Yeah.
It was not iconic to me.
The other thing I feel I have to comment on is the Charlie XCX album.
Yes.
Because I will say a lot of the songs I thought fit really well, and I liked them in it. I have not listened to the album independently. However, that tweet that went viral, that was like the most dramatic scene, and then you just hear Charlie in the background start to sing. I laughed every time. It was insane.
We chuckled a couple times in the theater because even though the songs had an appropriate sound, we would just laugh because you and I know what Charlie XCX sounds like. She's not like disappearing into the role or whatever. Or, she's not on screen. She's not playing anybody. But we're like, that is Charlie XCX.
That is very much Charlie XCX.
I have listened to the album and I did like it.
Okay, good. So there were pieces I liked, but I think overall I did not enjoy it. And I think I don't know if my opinion would have changed had I not just reread the book before. Because I feel like there still was issues with it as a movie.
Yes. I think that the biggest issue for me is that Emerald Fennel has been really talking up this movie as this is the version of Wuthering Heights that you think you're reading when you're 14 and you have a paperback of it. And
much like me reading Pride and Prejudice, feeling pretentious but not really understanding.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's you don't get to the point about it being two terrible people and it's a race and class thing. You're just oh my gosh, this timeless romance. And the thing is, I completely understand the exact feeling that she's talking about. I know precisely what she means. However, she did not make that movie.
It did not. I see it. And it's also an interesting one. This one's hard for me to reconcile because I'm of all of the classics you could have picked, Heathcliff is such an undeniable villain in it that it's hard for me to...
And it's even probably not that hard to do that in a way where it's his evilness comes through in the way that he makes the audience love him, but then you realize how sinister how it's gone on. But it's not like that at all. I don't know. It's not helped by the fact that I don't think Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi have any chemistry at all.
No, I don't think Jacob Elordi I struggle with as an actor because I'm he's good, but at the same time I'm that's not... Even when I was watching Frankenstein, I'm that's not Frankenstein, that's Jacob Elordi.
He's not a generational talent. I don't necessarily... Well, I guess I can't say that I don't think he's a bad actor because I've only seen him in this. So I just don't have a sample size.
He's in the running to be the new James Bond.
See, and I just think that's ridiculous.
I actually think that could be pretty fun.
Maybe it's because it's what you just said. I'm that's not James Bond, that's Jacob Elordi.
Okay.
Also, maybe...
That's how I felt with Sean Connery as James Bond.
I think it's too conspicuous if James Bond is that tall. Because then people will see him in a crowd and be that's James Bond.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. I can see that.
I guess,
and also, what if James Bond has to ride a horse?
He just can't. He can't do it. He flaps his arms around so much. And he has a lot of arm because he's so tall.
Of course.
But yeah, the chemistry was not there. The sexual tension was not there. Even the push-pull of the toxicity, it didn't move me. I was just kind of tired of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was... It was a movie.
When we came out of that movie, I had two questions for you as read the book. Does Linton do anything wrong in the book, or did they just make him like that for the movie? And you said no, he doesn't do anything wrong.
No, he like very much the thing. So I would say the one thing, and I don't think this is wrong. I think this is good parenting. When he has his daughter Kathy, which is after Catherine has died, Linton, who is Heathcliff and Isabella's son, he comes back. Heathcliff is like, after Isabella dies, she dies. I don't know if it's during childbirth or like soon after. So Linton's like, oh, he's gonna live with us, and Heathcliff is actually like, I have custody of him. And Kathy's like, I want to go see my cousin, and he's like, you will not spend any time over there. Which I think is good parenting, so I hold nothing against him.
Yeah. And then my other question was, Heathcliff, like, he starts out, growing up with Kathy, and then he leaves, and then he comes back. And I said, do they specify in the book that before he leaves that he looks really ugly and has a bad haircut? And you said no.
No, not to my memory.
Because they gave him a horrible, like, long, scraggly hair and a beard. And I'm like, okay, just because he's poor doesn't mean he has to look like that.
I don't think the glow up was specified.
It was very Bridgerton glow up. It was like the beginning. It was like the season before his season of Bridgerton.
When they make him hot.
And yes,
Speaking
exactly.
of which, I have watched the first 5 minutes of the new season, and that's all. I really should watch it. It's been out for quite a while.
I finished it, so we can discuss.
It's been out for quite a while, and I haven't started my new job yet. So I just haven't seen it.
Well, it just, also, they did not make Benedict have the glow up. They were like, you are already handsome enough. They made Colin get lip filler.
I know!
They're just like, you don't have to do that.
And they shaved Jonathan Bailey's sideburns.
Yeah, the mutton chops.
Speaking of Jonathan Bailey, him and Hugh Jackman, who would you cast them as?
Ooh, Hugh Jackman would have to be the dad.
I was going to say, he'd have to be the father.
Yeah, and let me tell you, he would chew that roll up and spit it out. He would have so much fun.
He would be so good.
I could not say that he would be better than the actor that they had, because I feel like this actor was disappearing into the role. I think Hugh Jackman would visibly be having fun, and I think that would not be better.
I think he would be worse in it. However, I think he would play the character very differently.
Yes.
I think he'd make it more of a comedic character, which I think can be done with that character.
Yeah.
Jonathan Bailey, I would say if they had appropriately cast Heathcliff as a person of color, then he could be Linton.
I think he would be a good Linton, because he has that quality that's, like, very upstanding, you know?
Yeah. But I wouldn't want him when Heathcliff was also a white man.
Yeah. Well, then the other thing, though, that I was thinking about is there's no other men, really.
Well, in the
book, could he be the brother?
I didn't even talk about the change they made with Jacob.
Is that the servant who was...
That's the servant who had sex in the barn.
Okay.
He was like, he only spoke in like a Cockney accent. You couldn't understand what was written on the page.
Okay.
And he was like major Bible thumping.
Ooh.
So there is another man. And then there's also the new tenant who Nellie is telling the story to in the book.
Okay.
Which is another option. I feel actually if Jacob was as he was in the book, I think Hugh Jackman could have played him that way.
Okay. Could Jonathan Bailey be Kathy's brother? What's his deal?
Oh, like raging alcoholic, like complete mess.
Like the
falling
dad?
all over. Kind of, because the dad isn't as prevalent.
Okay, so they just kind of mashed those two characters together.
Yeah.
It's like how they didn't want to have Anne Hathaway have a dad in the Princess Diaries movie so that they could give all the dad's lines to Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
Okay, they were just like, we only want to hire one actor. Yeah. Jacob Elordi costs a lot of money.
Yeah, they did kind of smash them together. I think it missed a lot by not having him in the...
Okay. We watched this movie because we were going to watch it anyway. We didn't watch it for the pod. But if we can remember the other movies that we have watched for the pod, is this the worst one, or are there worse ones?
I liked The Letter less. What else have we watched?
I liked it more.
That's a great
I did not like Catherine Called Birdie at all, but I liked it better than this.
I like Catherine Called Birdie better than this. Hang on. Let me go through this document really fast for our bonus episode. Handmaiden was good.
Handmaiden was a good movie.
Color Purple, phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
Personally, I think the Dear American Royal Diaries movies were the best ones we've seen.
Oh, yeah. Oscar winning. Should be.
It wasn't called Between Shades of Greys, but Ashes in the Snow was phenomenal.
It was a good movie.
Water for Elephants?
That was not a good movie, but I feel like you can't assign camp value to Wuthering Heights because it just came out. Camp value comes as you age. Water for Elephants is a bad movie, but to me it has camp value.
Yes, I agree. And then I don't have our season 1 bonus episodes listed on here, but Snowflower.
Oh.
This was up there with Snowflower.
Snowflower has to be worse. Because at least,
yeah.
I will say, if nothing else for Wuthering Heights,
It was faithful.
There is a creative vision here. And Emerald Fennell stuck to it really hard.
And
like, maybe it didn't work at all.
Yeah, she was faithful to the vision.
Yeah. Like, she didn't make up 50% of the plot. There was no, like, at
There's
least
no
for, like,
song.
There's no songs. There's no, like, extravagant costumes in Snowflower. That was definitely the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That is a very fair assessment. How does it compare to the other notable works of Emerald Fennell, i.e. Bad Cinderella, the other work you've seen by her?
Bad Cinderella. Well, first of all, again, Andrew Lloyd Webber versus Charlie XCX. I would love to see them in a room together.
I think they should have I think Charlie XCX could have done the songs in Bad Cinderella.
Frankly, I agree.
I would see her as Bad Cinderella.
Please revive Bad Cinderella.
With Charlie XCX.
Yeah. Obviously, Bad Cinderella is more in my lane.
Yes.
Than Wuthering Heights. If not for you, I may not have gone to see it, to be honest.
I had more fun, my experience, but also that, like, going to see a show, especially going to see a live bad show is always better than going to see a bad movie.
Yes, exactly. Like, well, first of all, I don't have a Wuthering Heights bucket hat.
Exactly.
But no, there are other people there experiencing it with you in a way that's simply not true of a movie, even though you are in the theater of the movie together.
Yes. And even some of our friends we went with, who no one wanted to be on this pod episode with us, by the way. They're jaded. They're jaded by having already been on the pod with us this season. We all had different reactions. Jen came out of there sobbing. I thought she was laughing at the end because I was laughing at the end. She was full sobbing. Hannah also hated it.
Yes, and it was a good mix of people because all of us have different varying relationships to having read the book or not having read the book, having seen online discourse about the movie, having not seen it, having listened to the album, having not listened to the album.
You could divide us into quadrants.
Yes.
And so I would say Jen went in the most blind. She did not have the online discourse, and her knowledge of the book came from a very quick plot summary of me walking to the movie.
Yes.
To the movie theater. Hannah was in the midst of reading the book.
Yes.
And had probably seen some online. You and I are both chronically online.
Yes. We've been hearing about this.
And then we have different relationships having read and not read the book.
Exactly. No one loved the movie.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So there were mostly negative responses to the movie, and the positive responses to the movie were on the lukewarm side.
Mm-hmm.
So, regardless, though, I will say it was an entertaining way to pass the evening, but I don't think it would have been as entertaining to me had I gone to see it by myself.
Yes.
Like, you need your girls to see this movie.
Agreed. I'm glad I saw it because I like going to the movie theater.
Mm-hmm. Now, all right, we can edit out some silences here because I think we're going to have to think. What other classic book do we think that Emerald Fennell should make into a movie next?
Classic or pod?
One of each.
Okay. I'm going to have to think for a while.
Yeah. Let's reference.
Ooh, it's a classic to me. I would love to see an Emerald Fennell Twilight.
That would be insane.
I won't count that as either category. I will think of a
that would be insane.
Category.
Also, for explicitly a book that takes the stance that you should not have sex till marriage. Emerald Fennell would not know what to do with that.
So I will continue to think because that is not a real classic.
However, that would be hilarious. I think this would be a great opportunity for here's my pod answer.
Okay.
No one has ever adapted Death Comes as the End. So why not let Emerald Fennell do it? It's not like anyone else is going to.
I would watch an Emerald Fennell The Marriage Portrait.
Yeah, actually,
I think she could do some fun stuff with that.
The atmosphere of that, I think, would probably be nice. Like a big, spooky, haunted fort where you're going to get murdered by your much older, evil husband. I think Emerald Fennell would enjoy that.
Or Mexican Gothic. She would love that.
Ooh, and already we didn't find it enjoyable, so she's not like she can make it worse.
It would only be better, and she would do some weird race casting.
And also, that girl talks a lot about how great her outfits are.
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity to just go crazy.
For her to really shine.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of classics still. Okay, I have two. And I read them also in that same year of AP Lit in high school.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
First, Othello.
Ooh. Not you giving her something with even more racial implications than Wuthering Heights to fail at.
That and Mexican Gothic. As soon as I said that, I thought of it. But also, just like the plot line, there's a lot. I think there's a good bit of similarity between Othello and Wuthering Heights.
Uh-huh.
But you can't really take out the evil parts.
Yes, I was going to say, I think it's actually so iconic that you can't do as much to it in the way of altering it like she did with Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people overlook the race and class parts of Wuthering Heights in the culture anyway, and that's not true of Othello.
And then my other one is A Streetcar Named Desire, because I think she would make them have
Ooh.
sex on the streetcar named Desire. And I think she would have Charlie XCX back for that soundtrack, but not for Othello.
No, who would she get for that? Maybe, I don't know.
Billie Eilish.
Probably.
It would be Billie Eilish.
Okay, I was thinking who's like a little angry.
And I think Billie Eilish would also do the Twilight adaptation.
Probably, yeah.
Mexican Gothic and The Marriage Portrait, I'm not sure. But
I feel like for Marriage Portrait, maybe she would get Lorde.
Oh, that would be fun. And I think Lorde would eat that up.
Mm-hmm. For my classics, I just finished reading Madame Bovary.
Oh!
And I think she could eat that up because it's about nothing else except a girl who cheats on her husband and gets into credit card debt.
That's kind of the movie she wants to make.
Yes. So, and there's no other plot. And then you get to have the man who you cast as hot, and then you get to cast her husband as someone who's kind of ugly.
Like the guy from Fellow Travelers, who his personality trait was hot.
Yes, Matt Bomer.
Yes.
Yes. So I think she would have a great time with that. If she waits a couple years to do it, she can cast Barry Keoghan as the husband who's ugly.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry
Easily.
to him, but you know, when you cheat
like
on your girlfriend, you get what you get.
And he looks like that. So that was a fun question to add. And now I'm going to be thinking that with every pod book we read.
Oh yeah, we'll be like, should Emerald Fennel make this into a movie? Yes or no?
That's going to be the new Hugh Jackman, Jonathan Bailey.
Well, actually, I didn't even ask. Have you seen any other Emerald Fennel movies?
Saltburn.
Okay. Promising Young Woman?
No.
Me neither. Frankly, you'd have to pay me. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. We liked Saltburn. I didn't think it was as good as everyone. It, again, like Wuthering Heights, it wasn't as like shocking as everyone told me it was.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I appreciate that at the very least there are enough female film directors to have some that are bad.
That is always your number one comment about her.
Yeah, so that's good. However, I think she would eat just as like the creative director of a film.
Yeah.
You know, I think if the script is not her idea, then it's maybe better.
And is this true or not true? I saw it on Twitter. Was she in The Crown?
I don't know.
I think she.
I think she's acted.
Twitter's telling me she was in The Crown.
Let's have
And apparently, if that's true, she was very good in The Crown.
Okay, well, let's look at her IMDb page.
She could just turn Bad Cinderella into a film. Starring Charlie XCX.
Please.
Charlie XCX saying she's retiring from music to be an actress in Bad Cinderella, the movie.
Oh my god, exactly. Exactly.
I know I have a heart parentheses because you broke it.
Oh, she was in the Barbie movie.
Was she?
She was Midge.
Oh.
Oh my god, she was Camilla?
Yes. And apparently she was really good.
That's crazy. Well, okay, good for her. Oh my god, she had a 27 episode arc on Call the Midwife. I didn't finish that show.
Well, you missed the arc.
Well, you know, it's very long. I never knew that. That's crazy.
All right.
It's because people tell me all the time that I should watch The Crown, and I go, I know.
I watched the first season, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I think my mom watched the whole thing.
But I feel like I would like it more than you, which is why people tell me to watch it.
Yeah, I did mention that to Santiago the other day. I'm like, this is something we can consider, but we're still too deep into Mad Men.
Of course. Do you have something lined up for after that? We're getting off topic. But
Going back to the shows that we paused to watch Mad Men, i.e.
Of course.
West Wing, America's Next Top Model, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and Dance Moms: The New Era.
Oh my god, I'm so behind on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Don't even talk to me about that.
We're still on the third season, and I think the fourth season comes out, like, this week.
Yeah, give those ladies a break. Jesus Christ.
I don't think they want a break. They're
so busy.
They have to pay for their plastic surgery somehow.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Anyways, what are we talking about on our next bonus episode?
We are watching a movie from one of the books this season.
That is actually well regarded.
Yes. Unlike The Letter, unlike Wuthering Heights, kind of. Also, we didn't read the book for the season. Are we going to tell them, or do they have to find out next week?
We have to tell them because we did tell them in the season finale that we'd be watching Gone with the Wind and having a Southern potluck.
Woohoo! So we will tell you not only our thoughts on the movie, but also what we were eating.
Exactly. Food reviews, ranking amongst our friends.
Yes.
All of the above.
Okay. So you'll have to hear from us in 2 weeks with our review of the movie Gone with the Wind.
And until then,
happy watching!
Bye!